We have a Discord. Join it.
Surprise!
Link in the bio of every video from here on out. We'll be interacting with you guys, talking to you guys in the chats, NBA, NFL, whatever other sports you guys want to talk about. And hey, you might even be invited into one of the I Know Ball Network shows.
We are going to do a special episode coming up. It might be a little draft that we bring a couple people in. So, hey, join that. We might throw you in
Link
there.
Down below in all of our bios, Instagram, TikTok, and below all of our YouTube videos, there will be a link to join our Discord. Me, Derek, and Dante are always in there talking shit already. So just get in, talk shit, back your team up, whatever you want to do. We'll see you there.
Be nice to us, please. Don't make us block you. I'll block you.
Talk shit to Dante. We love it.
I'll block you.
What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to the I Know Ball Network, to where today we are going to be covering what just happened in the NFL playoffs in the divisional round. And we're going to talk a little bit about the conference championship. Who's going to win those and who's going to be in the Super Bowl. We'll just get right into it. Guys, the Chiefs, once again, won in the playoffs over the Texans 23-14. And Mahomes, some say, he's getting a little treatment over there by the refs. What do you guys think?
Jordan, can I take this one real quick? Because I tweeted about this.
Yeah, go ahead.
Listen, man. They have had some fortunate bounces their way, no doubt. But at the end of the day, it's only because they're good and they're always on TV, it seems like, that we pay attention to it. I'm sure there's other teams that get favorable calls that makes it looks like it's helping them win sometimes. For example, the Cleveland Browns, the Colts, the 49ers. Those are two games that without the refs whistle, we probably don't win, correct? You remember that games?
Yep.
Those games?
That's true.
Okay. The uncatchable ball, all types of stuff. So anyways, the Chiefs are becoming the New England Patriots of the mid-2000s and late 2000s. They have a great quarterback, Patrick Mahomes, Thomas Edward Brady. Greatest of all time. Dude that looks like he could be the greatest of all time. He already has 3 Super Bowls. Looks like he's ready to get his 4th and be the first team ever to three-peat. What makes most sense? Let's go ahead and start hating on those guys, just like we hated on the Patriots. Oh my God, they're cheating. They get every call, this, that, and the other. I think people are just hating, bro. Like, let those dudes be great. Let them be great. That's all I want to say. Just let the Chiefs be great. Go Taylor Swift.
To be a devil's advocate, I do think the Chiefs get a lot of...
White devil's advocate.
We do see a lot of penalty calls and non-calls for them that do benefit them. Like Dante said, it might be because we watch them a lot. I do want to say one thing about one player in specific on that team that I think should get a lot more flags than he does. Their left tackle, I believe. Is he left tackle or right tackle? Jawan Taylor. Wherever the fuck he plays, he needs to get more penalties, bro. Every snap, he's a step off before the ball.
You remember they pointed that out last year, and he was doing it the whole game, and then they randomly flagged them for it in like the third quarter.
I mean,
a
lot of tackles. I mean, Lane Johnson got a lot of flack for it last year with the Eagles. A lot of tackles still do it and get away with it.
I saw somebody on Twitter try to defend him and say, no, he just knows Patrick Mahomes' snap count so well that he gets off as the ball is snapped. No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. He does not start backing up. His first step is planted behind him before the ball snapped almost every time.
And he's never on the line. Like, I know they're allowed to be like a little bit off, but like my dude be in the backfield near like a running back.
With all the illegal formation penalties that were called this year, because they did up their views on it. They upped, watching for it. They called a lot more flags on it this season than prior years.
In the very beginning, I think they let it go.
You'd think he would get some more penalties for that too.
No, for sure.
No, that's one of the big ones I see. Obviously, there's going to be the phantom missed calls and the phantom calls that go their way. Every team kind of gets those, I think. But how about that dude on the Texans opening kick return? The Chiefs opening kick return, I guess.
Bro, crashed out.
The Texans.
He crashed out.
Will he be on an NFL roster next season?
I don't know.
I can see him getting released, but that was thuggery, bro.
that was bad. Like 2-hand to the chest, full on pushed his coach. Not only he made the tackle, So you should be celebrating. If you took your helmet off to celebrate, you're going to get obviously in trouble on the sideline, whatever.
Yep.
He made the tackle and was pissed off after the tackle, threw his helmet off in anger, and then shoved his coach. So you just gave up a 63-yard return and gave him 15 more for taking your helmet off,
Yeah.
and then
Crash.
pushed your coach and never played the rest of the game.
The ultimate
the
crash
fuck?
out.
What the fuck?
That was wild.
That was insane.
Before we move on, I'll say shout out to Kansas City's defense, Chris Jones, and their defensive line. They got to CJ Stroud a lot, 8 sacks.
Chris Jones is crazy. He's crazy.
Shout out Kareem Hunt. Go win you that soup again, brother. Go win you that Super Bowl.
No,
Nick
don't
Chubb's
go win
watching
that
them.
Super Bowl.
Happy. Nick Chubb's just happy.
Let's go.
I want him to get it. Get a 3-peat.
Can't wait to see Juju dancing in the middle of the field in the Super Bowl.
Kelsey did have a good game in that game too, though. He had 117 yards and a tud.
He had the
That's
slowest
more
breakaway I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah. That's more of the Kelsey that I guess we're used to seeing, though.
Mm-hmm. He's been solid all playoffs, though. Like I think he's had like 70 yards and a touchdown. And no, I lied. He's always solid in the playoffs, not this season. Keep going, anyways.
And it is a little scary whenever Patrick Mahomes isn't playing like to the level of Patrick Mahomes, and that when DeAndre Hopkins and Hollywood Brown don't get the ball at all, and they still win.
Like, well, how does DeAndre Hopkins not get the ball? Like, I'm confused. Him and Patrick Mahomes, and he's just not getting 80 yards a game.
I mean,
you can add him to a parlay for 25 plus yards for like minus 400, bro. That's crazy for DeAndre Hopkins.
I will say, could be similar to Jeremiah Smith of last week, where he had 1 reception for 3 yards, and they blew out. So, could be the kind of the same thing. Maybe it just wasn't a good look for that game. He should get more. He should get the ball a little more, though. He only had 1 target. So
that's crazy.
We'll see moving forward. We'll move on to the next game. Commanders, Lions, upset of the playoffs. Absolutely. I think everyone in the beginning of the season, and even come playoff time, we look at the Commander roster and we're like, they're an all right roster, but I don't think they have it in them to make it far.
Bro,
they've been proving us wrong.
Could you name 10 dudes on the Commanders, Derek? And you know ball.
Could I name 10?
And I know 7 of them are going to be on offense.
Yeah. No thumbs up. Brian Robinson, Austin Eckler, Jaden Daniels. I want to say Marcus, but we're not going to count Marcus. He does get in sometimes, though. Terry, McLaurin. They don't have Jahan Dotson anymore. They traded away Zach Ertz. Curtis Samuel.
Nope. Bills.
Nope.
Who am I thinking of? Who's the number 2 that I can't think of right now?
I know who you got them in your mind, but you mixed them up.
I don't know that you're gonna remember this guy's name. He is good though.
The guy with the weird last Z name, Zakami. I can't say his last name.
I'll give you that one.
Say his name. Wide receiver.
Who had 2 targets and no catches.
Bobby Wagner. Their nice corner that played at Michigan. Starts with the last name, starts with an S. Sinstrel?
Sandristle. We'll give him that
Sandristle. Their kicker, the GOAT, Zane Gonzalez. Give me one more.
Pressure's on now. Pressure's on now.
Who am I thinking of? Oh, their other running back was a dog too. You say his name, I remember it. I'm choking now. Derek can't even name 10 on the Commanders.
Think about a trade that they made at the deadline.
If I say Marcus Mariota, that's 10, but traded. Lattimore.
So
that's the other one I forgot about. Lattimore.
The point I'm making
I named
is
the fucking
if I ask
Michigan
you
guy.
to name, if I ask you to name 10 players on Green Bay, you'd be able to do that pretty easily.
Lions
if I ask you
even
to name
too.
10 players on the Buccaneers, you know what I mean? On the Detroit Lions, you probably name 15. You probably name 20. You struggled to name 10 players on a roster, and that just shows you the job that Dan Quinn is doing with that team. But
Don't read the top there about me. I will say that beginning of the season and even come playoff time, we looked at the roster and we're like, like I said, they look all right. Don't look like a championship roster. I think they're slowly proving us wrong and proved me wrong week after week after week. Jane Daniels, He's a dog. That dude can get it done on the ground. He can pass. He's throwing dots. Oh, you know what's funny? I have the box score up, and I didn't even look at the fucking box score when trying to name the 10 players. I could have ripped off Jeremy McNichols. That was the running back. I could have named off De'Ami Brown, Jamison Crowder. Yeah, I could have named all those guys. I could have looked, and I didn't.
I forget Forbes' first name, but you got Forbes, then you got Deron Payne, then you got Jonathan Allen.
Forbes needs to put on some weight, but that's besides the point. I'm surprised. They came out, they whooped ass, they dominated, and that's all I gotta say about the Commanders. I kind of rooting for
them. Yeah, so I'm with you. I'm rooting for the Commanders. It's a great story. I mean, Dan Quinn is doing a phenomenal job with that team. And I think drafting Jaden Daniels, great for them that the Bears took Caleb Williams first. Because I guarantee if it would have been flopped, we probably wouldn't be having this conversation right now about either person. Because I don't think either team would be. Well, Jaden Daniels would probably be going crazy with the Bears. So it'd be a different situation.
I don't think so. I think this is a Mahomes situation.
I'm not doing this with you. Nope, I'm not doing this argument with you.
I think it's the same situation.
But I will say, I think we can safely say, and not even statistically, just success-wise, Jaden Daniels is having the greatest season for a rookie quarterback in NFL history. Like, I think you can really make a very good argument for that. I mean, they're in the
team success has to help. Yeah, the team success elevates it.
Yeah, and he will be Offensive Rookie of the Year. Mm-hmm. He has a chance to go to the Super Bowl. And realistically, there was people who said he should be in both the MVP conversation and the Rookie of the Year conversation. So that just shows you the statistical season. The dude doesn't have double-digit turnovers. Like, he's having a great season. So shout out to the Commanders. They did a great job. Word on the street is Dan Campbell is still in bed and he's drinking bourbon out of the bottle.
And Ben Johnson.
That's what somebody told me.
Caleb Williams is.
He did.
The one thing I did want to talk about with the Commanders-Lions game, very similar actually to the Texans-Chiefs game. The Commanders and the Texans both the Lions and the Texans, both losing teams, had more first downs, more total yards, less total plays though, and less time of possession. So they had more rushing, more passing, more total, and more first downs. Just didn't have the ball for nearly as long. I think the Lions, they have one more penalty. Texans had 4 more. So it's a matter of, I don't know. That's kind of crazy that both losing teams for the games we've talked about have had. Realistically, you show me just first downs. Don't tell me a score. Tell me first downs, yards, plays, stuff like that. I'm going to think the Lions won that game. Similarly, I'm going to think the Texans were at least in the game, not losing by 2 scores by 9 points.
The thing that killed the Lions was the turnovers. Jared Goff had 3 interceptions or 2 interceptions and a fumble?
3 interceptions.
Oh, yeah, he had 3.
5.
Yeah.
Actually,
he had 3. Jamison Williams threw
3. Jamison Williams threw 1. And then they did have a fumble as well.
So you got 5 turnovers, man. With 5 turnovers, if you tell me you won the game, I'd be over there like,
how?
Like, it's a recipe for disaster having that many turnovers. And it's just unfortunate that in one of the biggest games, they just couldn't deliver.
And I mean, if you go back to the Texans game just for a second here, neither team had a turnover in that game. So it looks a lot closer for the Texans. I guess if you look at turnovers included in the Washington and Detroit game, obviously then you're going to go, okay, well, 5 turnovers, you can't really win a game like that. I unfortunately didn't get to watch a lot of the Lions game. I really wish I could have.
Oh, it was a great game. I will say, with that, I believe we didn't check the stat. Me and Jordan were talking, I believe a day or 2 ago, that every team that lost in the playoffs had more total yards than the team that won. I don't know if that's factual, but I did see that. But that could be Twitter lying to us. Who knows?
Yeah, because the Bills didn't have more yards than the Ravens. I know that for a fact.
I do have a question. Kaysen, I know you're watching this. You're a Detroit fan. You had a lot of expectations this year with the Lions, right? And how it ended with Jared Goff playing the way he did. I just want your comment down below, man. Do you want Jared Goff still? What do you feel about the Lions' future? Because that division in the NFC North, that shit's going to get rough coming up. That shit's going to get rough. It's only going to get worse. So I'm curious to hear what you think as
Is
a
it?
Detroit fan. Jordan Love's going to be there.
You think the NFC North is going to only get better?
Vikings were good with Sam Darnold. You're hoping that JJ's either the same or better than Sam was, or if they get Sam back, and then you're assuming the Bears are going to be better than what they were last year. That's
I
just my
don't
assumption.
believe they will be, but
You don't think the Bears will be better this coming year than they were last year?
maybe slightly, but I don't think that they'll immediately be much better. I don't think that team will. What was their record at the end of the year? Does anybody remember off the top of their head?
5 wins, I believe.
5 wins. So if you put their over under for wins next season at
5
say
and 12.
6.5, are you taking the over or the under? I'm taking the under again. I think it might be a nice 5-12, 4-13 season.
Now I don't want to say it like this because I don't want to like defer your question. If they were in another division, I'm betting the over. The Bears having to play against the Lions, the Packers, and the Vikings twice a year doesn't help at all.
Yeah, that's 6 games that you're hoping to go 3-3 in.
Yeah, and there's a good chance that they don't. So
I don't think that they do.
I think they'll have a better offense. I think Caleb will be better, especially with Ben Johnson as the head coach. I don't know how the hell we got on the Bears, but yeah.
We were talking about the Lions. Their division only getting better, and I said that I don't know if they will. The Packers, I think, might be going downhill a little bit too. Jair Alexander is a cornerstone of that defense. Said that he doesn't know if he has any time left to play in Green Bay.
They're the youngest team in the NFL. You're assuming they should get better.
You're assuming, definitely.
I mean, that's never how it goes. I mean, the NFL can happen.
How does Christian Watson come back off of the ACL? I know that he's not their true clear-cut number one because they don't really have one. But
trying to see the Bears division record, but they went 5-12 this year.
So. Yeah, Packers 11-6, Vikings 14-3, and Lions 15-2. You got 3 teams double digits. Like that's rough.
I know the Bears went 1-1 with the Packers for sure.
I think they lost out to everybody else. I think they went 1-4 in the division. I'm sorry, 1-5.
They might have.
We'll move on to the Eagles and Rams to where, damn, I for sure thought the White Slinging Slasher was going to put one more drive together and ended up not winning the game. I thought he had the chance to.
He did have the chance.
He had the chance. Top 10. Matt Stafford, 100% top 10. The way he played, he could be top 5 because he's proved me wrong this year, 100%. He's proved me wrong. He's better than Mahomes. Played better. He played better than Mahomes.
PSA for Steelers fans, can we stop photoshopping everybody in the world into a Steelers uniform?
I saw Matt Stafford.
Was it Matt?
I saw Matt Stafford in a Steelers jersey. Can we just stop doing that? Because I hate getting my hopes up, even the slightest bit, like just seeing him in the jersey, like, get the juices flowing, and then it just doesn't ever happen. So can we just stop doing that until they're like on their way to town?
And I mean,
go to town, as they would say.
Town.
On their way to town.
Yinzers. We'll say hopefully Jalen Hurts is good. Hopefully he's going to be healthy. I mean, he came back, played the game, perked up. But, he finished that game, won the game. I will say Kyren Williams is a dog, but hey, fumbles, got some issues. Those cost games, and they got 2 turnovers. Yep. And the Eagles ended up pulling that one out. And I know your favorite running back, Dontea, went off.
In Kyron's defense, it was in the snow.
Okay, you better say that for the next person we're going to talk about.
I'm going to be honest with you, bro. Saquon Barkley is the best NFL player this year. Like, there's no one playing better football.
If MVP was truly the most valuable player to the team, and it wasn't just a quarterback competition, it would be Saquon.
So listen, somebody said that in the comments a couple weeks ago when we had that video, and I told them, like, I would love that because remember, we did our grades for, off-season acquisitions and stuff like that. And Saquon, I was like, I'm giving it an A+. Like, you don't get better than this.
Yeah.
And like, dude, Jalen Hurts doesn't have to do anything. Like, Saquon is going to break away a 50-yard run every game. Like, it's just a given. So, I mean, the Eagles, man, if their defense is healthy, Jalen Carter, like, I'm not going to lie to you, I've been super impressed with that cat. He's a dog.
Solidified the game.
Yeah, like he is a dog, bro. Like he's one of those dudes that like he can end up having, I'm not saying just as good, but Aaron Donald like impact, where it's just like you are scared, like oh my god, this dude's gonna end up making a play, and he does. But besides that, man, Philly looks like the best team left in the playoffs. I know Washington looked good, but
We've been
Philly
saying that
didn't
about
even-
Washington, though. We
but
always
Philly didn't even
have them
have a
down
good
here.
game though. They didn't even have a good game, and they
That's a shame.
still had a really good game. Like, think about it. Jalen Hurts was hurt, didn't have a lot of passing yards.
Had
Saquon,
7 rushes, 70 yards.
52 less total yards. They only had 65 passing yards in the game.
Yep. And
Well,
Saquon
85 rushing.
128
Saquon
passing
game.
yards. Whenever it does team totals, which I don't like the NFL, if you get sacked, your sack yards take away from
Okay.
your passing yards.
Yes.
Which is
So
dumb.
Technically 128
Yeah.
passing yards, yeah.
So that's dumb when it comes. So if you guys ever look up total passing yards per team, that's including the sacks that they take, and they take them away. So
Yeah.
just for future reference, it's a dumb stat in my opinion. I don't know why they do that. It's kind of like the
No, I
college
agree.
where they take away your rushing yards whenever you get sacked. I will say Saquon 205 averages 7.9 yards per carry. That's insane. And they're
Didn't he
leading.
have 250 plus yard touchdowns? I think I seen a stat during the
I
game
believe so.
that it was his second game this year with 250 or more yard touchdowns.
Going down the fucking field, hitting his fucking head, hyped as fuck.
Yeah, he was.
He's a dog, bro. He is a dog.
He was their second leading receiver, by the way, with 27 yards. Obviously not a lot, but Dallas Goedert number 1 with 56. Take him over to
AJ
Hawkinson.
Brown is pissed that he has to use his bookmark right now.
He's like, fuck. AJ Brown, 2 receptions, 14 yards. I think he's happy as long as they get the win. He should be.
That
Yeah.
team seems very
Implodey.
Could be
No.
blowish up.
No.
No?
The exact opposite. I was gonna say unselfish.
When Saquon slid?
Any of it. Anybody on that team. I don't think AJ Brown's upset at the game he had. Maybe I'm sure he's upset with himself at not getting open as much. But I'm sure that overall he's probably happier they won than he's sad that he didn't do as didn't put up the numbers we're used to seeing from him.
For sure.
Saquon this season, 2 different occasions. One was his most rushing yards in a single game. He said, "Now we're already winning. Just close the game out. I'm okay with that." And then to break the actual rushing record, he said, "No, I'm okay. Just sit us and let's get ready for the playoffs."
Shout out Saquon.
Oh,
Like he said, he did want it, but he said, "If you want to sit me, I will not be upset."
I
hey,
think
he wants to
between
win, bro. Saquon was in the New York Giants, bro. My dude just wants to win. Like,
Someone said he had to have been cold as hell on Sunday. He's used to being on a warm beach in Mexico around this time of year.
damn, it's true. You ain't wrong with that one. I believe
Why'd you pull an arrow out to shoot it?
the freaking musket.
You gotta like pack it in and
I will say I think Saquon, the 2 games against the Rams combined, has 400 plus total yards.
Dog. The
Like,
Rams
that's
are like,
crazy.
what the fuck? Stop the run.
stop the fucking match.
That is crazy. We'll move on to the very last game that just happened, to where the Bills overcame the Ravens, to where the Ravens turned the ball over in a lot of key situations to where they could have took
Mark
the lead.
Andrews is gambling.
I will say also the Bills at the same time, they let the Ravens stick around for a while to where it was getting a little iffy. You're like, oh, the Ravens might just come back because the Bills cannot capitalize right now.
Yeah.
And before I get into my take, I usually go first. I'll let you guys go first for this one.
I'll make mine quick, Jordan. Just let me go real quick.
Yeah,
I
go
promise. I'll be quick. Mark Andrews had Bills money line. He did everything he could possibly do to sabotage that victory. 2 crucial plays where he decided to literally fumble the game away. I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. That dude was gambling that game. I'm telling you.
You're saying he dropped the ball?
He hasn't even had that many drops and fumbles in his career, and he ended up having like his worst game when it came to that. Like that dude was gambling. Tried everything he can to
You're
sabotage.
saying he should have been
Go ahead, Jordan.
an extra
Catches for
tackle.
3 yards. His longest catch was for 2 yards.
Betting, sports betting.
Obviously, I do think that it is Mark Andrews' fault a little bit. I believe there's fault to go around to all the team, though. 3 turnovers in the game when the Bills had none. Can't turn the ball over when you really need it. There was it Mark Andrews that fumbled, correct?
Mark Andrews
Midfield.
had a fumble and Lamar
Mark
had a
Andrews
fumble.
fumbled and Lamar fumbled.
I think Keaton Mitchell fumbled.
Lamar
that the other
fumbled.
fumble?
Lamar fumbled, and Lamar threw a pick.
Yep.
Okay.
So it
I'm
comes
pretty
down a lot to that as well. I think it's very much so turnovers, and I mean, I'm a possession. The Bills had them by 3 minutes. I know that's not a lot. Bills had the ball for 3 more minutes than them, and it was 150 less yards, damn near.
Yeah.
Crazy.
So it's 150 less yards. You beat them by 2. I will give the Ravens a lot of credit for still being in the game even with the turnovers. I mean, that 2-point conversion literally sends the game into overtime right there. But and the onside kick, I mean, me and Derek were watching it kind of live together. I was a couple seconds ahead of him. But the onside kick was close. I mean, in the snow, that's the thing. I do love snow football games. I love all of it. But that is a game, and even the Eagles game is a game that I can see people's arguments. I don't agree with it, but I see the argument with it that
You want to see it in a
anything can
dome?
happen. I don't agree with it, but I do see where the argument may lie, where in the weather, in the conditions, anything can happen. I mean, Mark Andrews, do I think that he meant to drop the ball? I don't think so.
Hell yeah, he was betting.
I don't think he meant to. I think that that's cold hands. Hasn't really been getting the ball all game. I mean, he got what was it? How many targets did he have?
He had a decent amount. He had 7.
Mark Andrews had 7 targets, 5 catches, 61 yards. So maybe it was just he wasn't ready for it. Maybe the ball wasn't where he wanted it to be. It did look like it should have been a relatively routine catch, but anything can happen in the snow, man. You guys, I'm sure, Derek, I know for sure. You've played football outside in the cold. That ball is
Not
hard
fun.
as a rock.
Oh, bro, even with the gloves, it fucking hurts.
Yeah.
I don't know, bro.
mean,
I think Mark
get
Andrews
paid
and
millions of
Dontea
dollars to
Porter
do
are
it.
Snapchat friends.
You get paid millions of dollars to do it, but I just think that sometimes it could be a combination of the pressure. He knew he had to catch it. He might have overthought catching it. Then by the time it got there, he was probably like, ah, shit, just didn't get it.
I know a video circulating around. He did it this year or the year or last year against the Steelers. Basically the same play.
2-point conversion, yeah.
And
hit his
dropped
hands.
it. It was a little in front of him, so partially on Lamar on that one. But for the people that are going at Lamar, saying that it's his fault, he can't win in the playoffs, Lamar played good given the circumstances of said snow. That fumble probably doesn't happen if it's snowing. He's not used to it, and shit just happens when you lose
double
it.
the yards passing that Josh Allen had.
I don't think you can blame this game on Lamar Jackson. I really don't.
I would partially blame it on coaching. Derrick Henry should get the ball more than 16 carries in that game, especially in a cold game. No one wants to tackle Derrick Henry, period. No one wants to tackle him normally. Now add some cold weather, hurt, pain. That shit sucks. I think you just got to feed Derrick Henry a little more, especially when you don't have your number 1 wide receiver in Zay Flowers out there. Obviously, they played good passing the ball wise, but I think you got to give Derrick. You got to run the rock with Derrick.
Yeah, I mean James Cook had. I mean it was only 1 more rush, but more rushing attempts than Derrick Henry. That's not something we should see if you want to win that game. You have arguably the greatest rushing backfield in history, I would say.
With quarterback,
Lamar has proved himself definitely as a passer.
Yeah, but you can add him to that. In terms of just pure rushing,
him and Derrick Henry in the backfield, and Justice Hill too. I mean, he's definitely not a slouch when it comes to the rushing department. They might have the greatest rushing backfield in the history of the NFL. Right. And to only run the ball a total of 30 times throughout the game compared to Buffalo's 36 is insane.
Crazy.
You should have way more rushes, especially in the snow.
And that's included with Mark Andrews' 2 carries that he had for 3 yards. So that puts down the average pretty much. They were averaging 5.9 yards per carry.
I did fuck up when I was talking about his receiving. I looked at the bottom of the rushing. he had obviously more catches than 2, and his longest catch was longer than 2 yards. I was looking at rushing. I didn't even know he ran the ball. But
Fumbles count too. Pick up a
But
fumble
he didn't
and
get an
go.
anytime touchdown.
But
I'll tell
he-
you that much because I was
No.
gambling on him.
he did not get an anytime touchdown. That was Isaiah Likely and Rashad Bateman who got those. But y'all got to chill out with the Twitter hashtags, bro.
Why?
Oh my
I
God,
don't
yeah.
know.
Yes.
I don't know if Dontea
We can't say
saw
it.
what
We can't say
hashtag
the
me and
first
Derek
word.
saw,
We can't
but
say the
y'all
first
gotta
word.
chill out.
Can you send it to me and I can say it, or like we
It
shouldn't say it at all?
rhymes. It rhymes with grape, like the fruit.
Grape Mark Andrews is what they were tweeting.
That is crazy.
Yeah. There was a lot of tweets of that. Y'all gotta chill. That was fucked.
Speaking of wild tweets, I know we passed the Kansas City game, but some pictures were floating around with Andy Reid on his knees on the field. You guys see those?
That was funny.
I
That
did
was
see
funny.
That
That was funny.
But anything from the divisional round before we move on to the conference championships, guys?
No.
Nope.
All right, we'll move
If you
on.
want to win, have less yards than your opponent.
Facts.
Yeah. Also, Kaysen, if you're still watching this, I didn't even say this in the intro. I'll figure out our point totals in the comments somewhere down below. I forgot to do them, so I apologize on that one. But we'll move on. Conference championship. First game is going to be played Sunday at 3 p.m. We got the Washington Commanders at the Philadelphia Eagles to wear. Big line for a conference championship game. Similar to what Dontea was saying, Philly's going to be favored to -6. I'll be honest, I would not be surprised if Washington somehow ended up winning this, and I would still not be surprised if somehow the Eagles won by 14. So,
Right.
Or 40.
Or 40. Saquon, different animal. Washington has yet to play against a Saquon. I know Jahmyr Gibbs. David Montgomery
Other
came.
than Saquon.
David was back, but first game back from injury. Not really the David that we know of. But Saquon's a whole different level than Jahmyr. Jahmyr, I think, still a top 5 running back. They played that offense really great. I think they could play Philly's offense really great, but I don't know. I'm waffling here. I don't know which way to go. What do you guys think?
Waffle stomping, huh?
Well,
You
I
guys
don't
don't know
do
what a
that.
waffle stomp is, huh?
I don't know what
I
that
don't.
is.
Google it.
Off camera, they're in the same division. They've already played twice this year, right?
Yeah. This is on camera.
No, it's on camera.
Oh, did
I'm
I
saying,
say
like,
they
edit
yet
it
to
out.
play? I did
Yeah,
say
you
they
said
have
that
yet
they've
to
Yet
play.
to play a guy
Okay.
like Saquon Barkley.
And I
In the
said except
playoffs
for
where it really
Saquon.
matters. Yeah, my bad. I'm dumb. Ignore me. What do you think?
The Commander. Oh, shook my camera. The Commanders got a lucky break last time they played the Eagles. Jalen Hurts went out with a concussion. You just looked up a waffle stomper. Ill. But
Yeah, just the waffle stomp.
That was gross.
I'm just gonna take your facial expression and say I'm not gonna look that up. Anyways, yeah, last game they had a fortunate injury in their favor. Jalen Hurts got hurt and they had to play against Kenny Pickett for a whole half of football. And Jaden Daniels looked like Superman. He had a terrible first half and then he had a great second half and they came back and won on a last minute touchdown. So if that is what it took to beat the Eagles without Jalen Hurts in the entire second half, I'm not sure if they can get it done this time around. 6 is a lot of points. I think they can definitely cover the 6, but I think the Eagles edge them out on this one. I think the Eagles eke out a win here. Not edge
By
out.
edging them out. I will say Saquon had 150 rushing yards and 146 rushing yards and 2 touchdowns in both of the games against the Commanders. So it's looking to be around the same. if there was a line, it should be near there.
Oh, there's going to be a line. We'll see it later on in the week, I'm sure.
He's going to be 105 yards.
I think that the Eagles, if Jalen Hurts can stay in the game the entire game, should win this game. Like Derek said, it wouldn't surprise me if the Commanders somehow won, but it also wouldn't surprise me if they got blown out. I did hear from a undisclosed source, that some of the Commanders starters may be out next week.
Ooh.
Uh-oh.
Few big name players. As they were running off the field after their win against the Lions, they were giving somebody a hug in the tunnel. And, if any open wounds or bodily fluids got
Yo,
mixed
go
up,
to hell.
they may be out with AIDS. I'm just saying. All right.
Jesus.
Anyway,
Jesus.
can you transmit AIDS through sweat? I don't know. I hope not. For the Commanders, I hope not.
I think you can.
He still played basketball after he had it, so I think they're all right.
That is true. There's no way you can give it through sweat then, right?
There's probably
I'm over
like
here
a
looking for Saquon's line, and I just put in a bet.
That's crazy. There's probably like a really small percentage, but I don't know.
But yeah,
Saquon's rushing line is 125.5 rushing yards.
That's crazy, bro.
That is insane.
Over.
And
a
for
playoff
him
game
to get a anytime touchdown is minus
minus
250.
Yeah.
And for him to score 2 touchdowns is plus 230. So you're getting
that's
2
don't even
touchdown
bet
odds. Yeah.
Do
Don't even
one
bet it.
touchdown and plus and
For
do
the
one
over?
touchdown and over in rushing yards. What's the odds on that? That might be my parlay of the week.
Minus 110.
Is it?
That would be great. Nah, because you're betting the over under, so that's like already.
Plus 124.
There you go.
That might be the parlay of the week. 2-leg, nice double your money parlay. But in all seriousness, though, I do think this will be. It's impossible to predict. It's a divisional game to go to the Super Bowl. That's literally as about unpredictable as the most unpredictable you can get.
Yeah, don't even look at the lines. It's a
to the Super
playoff
Bowl.
game.
If the Steelers played the Ravens to go to the Super Bowl, it's a completely unpredictable game.
Yep.
I'm sending you the picture of the bet slip if you want to insert it in.
Okay. I will say.
Did you bet it?
If I insert it in, it'll be covering Dontea's face right now because the way it is. I will say Jalen Hurts most likely will be okay to play. If I am Jalen Hurts and I have some sort of minor tissue, minor ligament issue that I have, I'm saying fuck it. And I am getting some Toradol, I'm getting shots, and I'm not feeling for that game, and I am ruining my body to win this game. And for the Super Bowl. I think that's what you got to do. And
100%.
If I'm having to choose right now, I'm going to go Eagles. Give me the Eagles.
Yeah, I think if I have to choose, I'm also going to choose the Eagles. Saquon's on a generational run.
Generational run, bro.
Literal run.
I mean, and he sometimes slides. Dontea, who you got?
Give me the Eagles. I already said mine.
It would be a cool story if Jake Daniels makes it. Yeah, I forgot you said that. We'll move on to, once again, they meet in the playoffs. Josh Allen's kryptonite. Maybe this is his chance to get it back. Maybe it's Batman versus Superman all over again. We got Buffalo at Kansas City. KC is favored -2. And hey, do we think this is the time where Josh Allen gets him? I know he beats him in the regular season. He beats him. He has a winning record in the regular season. But in the playoffs, that is Mahomes' territory. What do we think?
Is Taylor Swift going to be there?
Absolutely.
100%.
Caitlin Clark might go again too.
Caitlin Clark might be there.
That was double aura for them.
Is Caitlyn Jenner going to be there?
Doubt it.
Well, if they can only get 2 of the 3 there, the Bills are winning. Caitlyn Jenner shows up, Chiefs are winning.
If somehow Sunday night comes and it pans and Caitlyn Jenner's there, I am putting my whole fucking bank account on the game.
This has to be the most viral video of all time if that happens.
I'm putting the bank account on the game. What do you think, Dontea?
Man, I made a Brady reference already. And another Brady reference. There was a lot of people who lost a lot of money betting against Tom Brady because of hate. Just pure hate. And Patrick Mahomes is on a Brady-like trajectory. So I'm not going to bet against them. I just can't. Buffalo looks like they should win this game. They look like the better team. They look like they're ready to go compete for a Super Bowl. Somehow we're going to look up and it's going to be like, and the Chiefs win a 15-13 game. You're like,
And
15?
Jawan Taylor jumps off the stage before the trophy even arrives.
Jesus.
Formation.
He's already in the locker room. The trophy is not here yet.
Yeah, I can't bet against the Chiefs, bro. I just can't.
I can't either, but I'm definitely not betting on them. This is going to be a pretty good game to watch, I think.
And I know I didn't say these stats beforehand. I probably should have. All four of these teams currently in the playoffs have yet to have a turnover in a game. The only other two teams to not have a turnover the whole playoffs this year was Pittsburgh and Denver, and they both got first rounded. Sorry, Jordan, for that one. But when it comes to point differential in the regular season, this is what makes us think that the Chiefs are vulnerable because they have the lowest out of anybody left in the playoffs. 59, plus 59. Next is Commanders, 94.
Wins.
Yeah. Commanders, plus 94. Bills, plus 157. That's almost triple the Chiefs. And the Eagles, 160. So that kind of makes you look at it one way. When I watched the Baltimore Bills before the game, I was like, whoever wins this, I think is going to go to the Super Bowl. And then eventually,
Mahomes says, "Wait a minute."
It's not even the way he played.
He entered your brain.
It's just yes. I looked at the matchup and I said, "Damn, why
Patrick
even?"
Mahomes will throw his own flag.
He might have one in his pocket.
The ref don't throw him. Patrick Mahomes goes, "Oh, where'd that come from?"
Shit, I got hit pretty hard. Damn.
Speaking of your penalties,
there were some fucked up penalties in that game too. I know we already brushed past it. That was not a roughing the passer. Unlike the second drive of the game for the Chiefs. Bullshit.
I'm flopping too.
That was a bullshit penalty.
I can kind of see when he slid that one, maybe just because it looks bad, but I still think that shouldn't have been a penalty either. Yeah,
I think it just looked worse in real time. Like you gotta think we watched a
slow motion,
slowed up version. It was zoomed in at the right
perfect angle.
We're talking about the pure eye test from two dudes on the field. Like, you see what happened over there? Like, you know what I mean?
So and these old dudes.
Did he just get hit hard as fuck, or did they miss him completely? Oh,
that's what exactly.
We might as well throw that shit. We don't know.
Exactly. Like, you go with like that looked bad, flag on a play. Like if they could make all penalties reviewable real quick, you know, in New York they see that replay, don't pick the flag up. But you call that in real time because it probably looked really bad.
So I may not agree with having real time reffing for every play, every penalty that gets called in the regular season. Playoffs, I think all penalties thrown should be at least quickly reviewed in New York. There's only one game on at a time when you're in the playoffs. You can have all eyes on every play of every game. You can have different shifts for people coming in to watch. I think that in the playoffs, there should be an expedited review, less than 30 seconds of almost every penalty, unless it's like a blatant, like, come on now.
So in the Chiefs game, when the helmet-to-helmet roughing the passer was called against the Texans, they said on broadcast that New York, whoever reviews them, they can review and reverse a penalty call, but the only way they can do it is undeniable evidence.
Indisputable video evidence of it not being a high hit.
And they cannot make any contact with the head at any point. And he did make a little bit of contact with the head. So right then and there, it like ended it. So
which
I don't know.
Not the rule, which is kind of stupid.
Yes, exactly. So I don't know how they would do that with other things, like when he pushed him out of bounds, when he slid, things like that. I don't know the exact.
Did you make any contact with him when he was sliding at all? If you did, it's a penalty. That's bullshit.
Well, talking about reversing it, I have no clue. At the same time,
what I mean, though, like they couldn't reverse it because they did make some contact.
To go with penalties, though, in the playoffs this year, Chiefs the lowest with 4. Obviously, only played one game. Bills 8, Commanders 9, Eagles 10. So the most penalized out of those 4.
Were called against the team that was playing them.
Against the Chiefs.
I wish we would have pulled that so far.
Yeah, I don't know about against the. I can look at the Houston one right now.
You do have regular season penalties in there as well. So I
Um,
wonder in regular season how many.
I will say, I will
If
get to
there's a
that.
huge discrepancy, then the arguments are right that the Chiefs get bailed out. That's all I'm saying.
Last game, Houston had 8 penalties called against them. Chiefs 4, so double. And penalties throughout the whole season, the lowest, Chiefs 94 called on them. Next is Eagles with 103, so only 9 more. Commanders 111 and Bills 112. So that 9 more through a 17-game season is not that big of a discrepancy, in my opinion. That's less than 1 a game more.
They had 9 more than the next team.
That's currently in the playoffs.
Yeah, I was trying to find it too.
Currently in the playoffs. I can look it up right now for you, but if you guys were to choose who's going to win this game, who do you think? I'm looking at right now on StatHead, by the way, for you, Jordan.
Give me the Bills, man. Let it be their year finally.
Yeah, I'm not betting against the Brady thing here. Let me get Patrick Mahomes
And
the refs.
For this, give me a score. Why not?
I'm feeling like
24-17 Bills.
I think the Chiefs offense is going to look more explosive than it's looked all year. Let me get a 28-24 victory by the Chiefs.
28-24.
You know, 28-27.
It went into OT
Game-winning
once
field
before.
goal.
Do you think it'll go to OT once again?
No.
I think it's going to be a close game. Like I think literally 27-28 could be the final score.
So I was fucking up this whole thing, but total penalties throughout the whole NFL.
Opponent penalties. I want to know the penalties of their opponents.
So I currently can't look that up. I got to redo this, but Kansas City would be 29th. Colts, Arizona, and Rams had less penalties called against them. I don't think I can opponent penalties. I can look that up. I'm getting the results right now live. Minnesota number 1, Dallas 2, Buffalo 3, Miami 4, Pittsburgh 5, Atlanta 6, Seahawks 7, Carolina 8, Tennessee 9, and the Raiders 10. Kansas City would be...
Wow.
Let me see. That is kind of crazy that I listed that all off. Kansas City would be right in the middle at 17th, 107, compared to number 1, Minnesota, 141. That's a cool little
crazy.
top 10
Not
too
That's crazy.
to kind of look at it. San Fran all the way at the bottom. Philly all the way at the bottom, 85. They're second to last. So that's kind of...
It's just all a narrative because they get the calls in HD because they're on prime time and they're playing in big games.
And Taylor
Kansas
Swift
City is 17th in total penalty calls. That's crazy.
Yeah, so like it's a narrative, bro. Like it's not even true.
Tied with Chicago.
Like, we've been running with it for a full 2 years. That the Chiefs get all the calls for them and stuff like that. Not really. 17th most actually.
Yeah, and
that is crazy.
That is crazy. And maybe Minnesota. Hey, maybe that's why they were really good this year. 141. That's crazy.
It's a lot.
That's a lot compared to last place. San Fran was 79.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Wow.
That's
so
an
last year
insane
we were
amount.
talking about it. Kansas City was second to last year. The only team whose opponents had fewer penalties called against them is Chicago.
It's just a bogus narrative, bro. So
that is kind of crazy.
Clip this up for
you
TikTok.
You said 49ers or you say Chiefs second to last?
Chiefs last year.
Okay. I don't know if you said 49ers or I thought 49ers in my head. I don't know.
I think I said Kansas City, out loud.
Maybe that's what messed me up.
Flip this one up and say, is it a bogus narrative that people say the Chiefs get all of these calls and they get more calls than any other team in their favor?
You see who's number 1, Jordan? Maybe that's why we made the playoffs.
The Browns?
last year.
Browns
118.
opponents had the most penalties called against them.
Shit.
It doesn't even
They had
help.
the most penalties called against them, but the 5th most penalty yardage against them.
Yeah.
Or
It doesn't
for
even
them, I
count.
guess technically.
And here's what's crazy. You see all those penalties? The top of them? It's not comparable to 2024 this year. There's way more penalty throws this year so far. Not even so far, just in general, of the regular season. So that is kind of, it's a little crazy to look at.
Number 1 had 118 last year. Number
141.
And number 9 had 120. Number 10 had 117 this year.
So it's really just a bogus narrative that somebody started talking about on Twitter, and everybody in the world just ran with it.
And we all believed it.
The Chiefs do not pay the refs. The people bitch about the Chiefs winning. That's how it goes. And
Andy Reid is not actually on his knees for the refs.
And I hope he stays that way. Please, Andy. You don't.
Stay
Is
on
this
your
how
feet,
you get all
brother.
your wins? Is this how you get all your
Stay
wins?
10 toes down, brother.
Stay on your feet.
I don't think I picked. Give me, who do you guys take real quick? I was looking up stats when you guys were Chiefs.
Bills.
Give me a first ever tie. They somehow can't finish the game. So Philadelphia's going to have to replay the Commanders in the Super Bowl.
It gets moved to LA and then postponed indefinitely.
They actually have to play the national championship winner Ohio State in the Super Bowl. As a thing. And then Ohio State wins.
Michigan will play Ohio State in the big house before the Super Bowl.
Give your prediction so I can say one thing real quick before we get out of here.
I'm just not going to bet against the Chiefs. Like we said, we can see it go either way. Give me Chiefs. Give me Chiefs to win. Their defense is great. I think they're going to keep them in the game for that reason.
Oh, I'm not betting. I'm just saying I want the Bills to win, so that's who I'm picking.
What do you say, sir?
I get that.
Peace out.
I don't want to brag, but man, does it feel good to have predicted the perfect bracket? I mean, to a T.
And you didn't go week by week predict. You didn't you did the whole bracket like March Madness.
At the very beginning. So
you better do this shit in March Madness.
But that's way harder in March Madness. But shout out to
1264.
My ball knowledge.
Yeah, shout out your ball knowledge.
Shout out to Dontea. Shout out to Ohio State. Shout out to them.
Whoa.
Shout out.
Baby.
Shout out.
Whoa.
To the Chicago Bulls. Imagine having to play an NBA game while the national championship's going on. Shitty life, man. Shitty life. Congratulations.
Who the hell did they play?
No one's watching you, Lonzo.
Yeah, who the hell did they play?
Still currently playing right now against the Clippers. Suns and Cavs played Hornets in the Mavs, Pistons, Rockets, Timberwolves, Grizzlies, Hawks, Knicks, Celtics, Warriors, and Jazz Pelicans all did not get to see the entirety of the national championship.
Who's winning between Bulls Clippers? I pick Clippers and I pick them.
It is 57 to 56. Clippers are up by 1.
All right, if it ends right now, my pick is right.
Shout out to Ohio State, though. Shout out to Notre Dame,
that's
too.
Crazy.
Man, coming back after losing to NIU and making it to the Natties. Yeah. I mean, hey.
You lose to a max
Shout out
score.
to them for just getting there. Shout out to Marcus Freeman's handsome ass. Shout out to Ryan Day for keeping his job somehow. Shout out to all these guys.
They lost to a max school and somehow made the Natty still. A max school.
Is Just for Men going to be like, you know how the NBA got sponsors now on their jerseys?
Yep.
Is Just for Men going to be on the Ohio State jerseys when Ryan Day signs like a 10-year deal?
I hate you.
He got a lot of that shit in his beard.
I hope that video of me picking the national champions blow up, though. Like, people circle back to it.
Well, I'm hoping I can somehow go back, redo it in a way to where, like, he predicted the perfect bracket, and then insert whatever you say now. You want to say I know ball bitches or something?
Hey, listen, for the people who think I don't know ball, how you like me now?
All right. Say go Michigan.
Play the song that's on the what car commercial is that? What car commercial is that? You know what I'm talking about?
Now? It's something fast.
Nah, it's something it's like fucking Mazda or some shit.
That's crazy.
Time to turn the button. And it's time for us to turn off this podcast. Thank you guys for watching. Appreciate you guys. Comment down below. Like I said, Kaysen, if you didn't comment yet about your Detroit Lions, I'm curious on what you think. I'm curious, Kaysen, also, what do you think about Ohio State winning the Natty? Because we know you're also a Michigan fan with one Jordy. Also, Jordan,
shout
any
out to
last
them.
words?
Shout out to them. I'm sad that another college football season
Is
has
over already.
passed us.
So quick.
We only have 3 more real football games
And then we're gonna get Jordan right into NBA.
next month. Dontea, by the way, it was Kia.
Are you
Kia
shooting?
Sorrento.
He's shooting.
How you like me now?
Penalty. That penalty in the NFL right here.
Thank you guys for watching, and say hey
That's an extra penalty.
to your mama
I got
for
5.
me.
You got 15 for the 2 fingers.
Peace out, everybody. Love you.